Thanks for the prime. Welcome, welcome. All right, Mardu Vampires. This is interesting. It's almost like white aggro. We've got Venerated Loxodon with a bunch of 1-drops, but then we're leveraging Legion Lieutenant and Judith, the Scourge Diva, as cards that we are playing as anthem effects, as opposed to like Beneficial Marshal. Marvin Fein here. Marvin Fein has makes other vampires with our smaller dorks too. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches, see how it feels. Not sure if you have the tech, as the answer no about. My dragon shields are pretty loose, which allows dust to get in frequently. But I love the feel of them. I got a double sleeve. How sealed are the elites too? So do they have a good double sleeve feel? I played with the elite 2s double sleeved at my last tournament, and they felt fine. But I've only played about a dozen matches with them double sleeved. So normally I single sleeve a lot of my cards. Yeah, the coverage lineup for their tournament is great. That's one of the things that Wizards has done really well in the last couple of years, is that for a long time, Magic coverage definitely had an old boys club type feel, where the people who were doing coverage were just like people that knew people, and they've done a good job of rotating in new faces that have been providing good commentary. I'm glad to see that they're continuing with that with the Invitational. Nifty, thanks for the prime support. I appreciate the half a year. Welcome back. Yeah, I compliment Wizards of the Coast a lot when they do good stuff. They just dislike that I also point out when they fuck up. I named Human on this rather than Vampire, so that way it can make red mana for Judith next turn. Yeah, sorry. I do try not to swear on average a lot of the time. What do I want to do this turn? I think I'd rather Legion's Landing plus Adanto rather than Mavren Fein, because I think if I Mavren Fein, my opponent's pretty likely to play a 2-mana removal spell, and if I play this and this, they don't really have anything that they want to remove. Yeah, people being upset over me doing things that aren't a big deal goes back a long time, Tracks. Long time. Sweet. So my read that they likely had a piece of removal there, so I want to wait on my more powerful creature was correct. So I can Legion's Landing here and do this, and then I can Conclave Tribunal, leaving Adanto untapped, and attack for 3. It is against the new chat rules to discuss politics, so please refrain. Yeah, Esper Bust is great. That one's fine to run back again and again and again between now and the end of the season. There is the Political Dark Place is a channel that exists on the subs Discord. You are more than welcome to encourage even to discuss things in there. So Do I want a Conclave Tribunal, this Dire Fleet? I think I do. I think I want to play Judy and then Conclave Tribunal and then just smack them for a bunch. I think I'd probably play Vraska's Contempt if I really wanted a way to deal with Phoenix in the Abzan deck. But I really don't feel like Phoenix is that big of a deal. You can attack through it, go around it, or Kaya also exiles it. See the Esper Party Bus link in YouTube on your website, but I can't find the deck list. Yeah, if you click through to the YouTube video and click show more, in the description of every YouTube video is the full deck list that's being played in that video. I'm not really sure. Will do, Corvern. Thanks for the biddies. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing. They're playing some kind of like red-black mid-range deck. This is probably okay just as like to generate value. And I think I like trading Cast Down for Ixalan's Binding because Rekindling Phoenix was one of the only threats that we saw. I'm not sure exactly how aggressive they are. So it might be that I want these Cast Downs and maybe this Mortify or Lyra, but we kind of killed them before they really got going. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and submit like this. When you're playing a deck that's kind of proactive and you're not quite sure how to sideboard, less is more is generally good advice because your deck's proactive, you want to just like stay true to your run them down plan. You only want to risk becoming interactive if you know it's going to be good. Alright, so Legion's Landing to start here. Hey, Quaddle, thanks for the quarter beer. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, there was a post saying that they were kicking off spoilers for the season at PAX this weekend. In this matchup, do you think cutting Loxodon for cast down in game 3? I don't know, Lord. I mean, I just got done talking about how I literally don't know what their deck is doing, so I'm sideboarding with a less is more strategy because I don't know what their deck is doing. So, after seeing 3 more cards out of them, I still don't know what their deck is doing exactly. So I don't have a good answer to your question. Well, we didn't get Chain Whirler. That's a good start. How do we feel about Legion Lieutenant? Put these towards Electro Demigod. Will do, Covern. Thanks for the biddies. I think I'm going to go Lieutenant, smack you for 4, Skymarcher. And then next turn we can go Lieutenant into Loxodon or Judy into Loxodon. Depending on how this works out. I wouldn't be too surprised to see the Lieutenant eat it here, yeah. Like, if they want to block, I'll pay 4 and eat their thing. Playing Plaza in a non-gates focused deck. Which Plaza? Like the Plaza that fixes your mana. Alright, so I think this turn I go Lieutenant into Loxodon. And then next turn we go Judith and Smash. The squad's real swole here. That seems weird in a deck that's not, Alright, so I think I just smash, right? I don't know. Figure it out. I'm at 14. This is gaining me 4. I don't know what that card does. Rem. The amount of gates you have to be playing to gain life off of Plaza consistently is pretty high. Yeah, like, I've got more stuff than them, and my stuff is bigger. So... And if they kill my stuff, I get to shoot some of their stuff. So, like, if they trade with this Loxodon, the Loxodon's gonna kill, like, the Direfleet Daredevil. We might see them double block some of these things. So that's not, you can't, so this is something that comes up a lot. So the way Magic the Gathering works is you choose your targets for your triggers when your trigger goes on the stack. So Judith's triggers in combat like this are unable to kill the egg because the trigger making the egg goes on the stack. And then we have to choose our targets for where our points of damage are going while we're waiting for that egg to be made. So you can see here, I'm going to choose my targets with these Judith triggers before the egg happens. Unless First Strike is involved, correct? First Strike, it happens during a different phase. It actually has nothing to do with active player, non-active player. Even if it was happening on the inverse and my opponent was the active player, I still wouldn't be able to kill the egg because I have to choose where my things are going beforehand. Slayer, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm waiting to play this post-combat because I don't really want to flip it this turn. If they have a removal spell for Judy, I could maybe get into trouble here. Correct, yes. If they block with the Phoenix this turn, I can play this Judith post-combat, and then the Judith deal damage to things. Yeah, the egg has to go into play before the triggers go on the stack. So now I kill this, and then I play the second Judith, which is going to kill the egg plus deal a damage upstairs. Yes, I'm sure I'd like to cast Fork Bolt. And this is why you should just play 4 copies of Judy in your Judy decks, because, like, the floor on the second Judith is pretty high because it just, like, still does 2 damage. It's a pretty solid W for us. Hey, Drake Money. Thanks for the 2 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The fact that my first land is Blood Crypt's a little awkward here, but I think this is a keep on the play. why would you play Legion's Landing over Skymarch, Ozzy? Why do you feel it's beneficial to play this one first? I think I just want all these Loxodons. What do we think of this? Cast Down's obviously not good against the Bolas deck. I think this is mediocre against the Sweeper deck. Unbreakable Formation pumps it up, and it can save our things from Ritual Assault in some situations. I think I like the Conclaves and the Bindings for taking some blockers out. My one question is, am I supposed to fit Duresses in my deck? And I'm not sure that I am. Like, what am I cutting? Is this supposed to not be a Venerated Loxodon matchup? Is that the card I want to trim? It does require me to take a turn off from attacking to put it into play, but Loxodon, like, is also appealing against Ritual Assault and Cry to a degree, just because, like, it doesn't die to those things. I wonder if I'm supposed to trim Legion Lieutenant. Let's try this. Not go as heavy on the removal. Brain Frozen. I know it's pretty far out, but what do you think your schedule is going to look like when Modern Horizon drops? I don't know that I'm going to do extra when Modern Horizon drops. It depends on where we're at in the cycle for Standard, most likely. I might do a week or two of double Modern Mornings when it drops, if there's a demand for it. We'll see. That'll depend on what the numbers are like. Could you explain the concession there? That was a blow, but I felt like we were still in the game. You had more cards to hand them, another draw of Zealot. Yeah, they're going to flip their treasure map next turn and then flip their Nickel Bolas, Endo. I was going to have a 1/1 and 2 lands in play. We were super dead. Not close, super dead. Cast Down's like really bad against this deck, huh? It's kind of sweet. The fact they burned a spot removal spell there likely indicates they don't have Cry, hopefully. Ha! Joke's on you. Eat this card advantage. This is a deck that probably rarely beats Cry, and when it does, it definitely doesn't involve drawing 8 lands. In the words of the greatest poet of our generation, you just gotta shake, shake, shake it off and move along to the next one sometimes. Yeah, we found the lands we needed in game 1, exactly. If we draw a land next turn, we can go landing into Loxodon, which would put us in a pretty reasonable spot overall. I don't think I want to block here. And they have a removal spell. Wow. Main deck Lava Coil is rough. Well, yep. I think I just have to let Vanguard die here. I don't think I can afford to go to 5. Wow, that's brutal. I think we're dead. Nah, I don't think there is. Flight forward, because you can kill it. Just kill it in response to them targeting your thing. Is this a Vanguard out matchup? Like, it sucks against Goblin Chain Whirler, but our whole deck kind of sucks against Goblin Chain Whirler, right? Is Elephant just better, even though it taps me for a turn? Yeah, maybe Elephant's just better. That's right, Elephant didn't feel bad there. I'm gonna leave Elephant in and see how that goes. I mean, like, I don't want to pay for life, but it's fine for attacking. Like, it's a 3-1 that attacks. Sometimes it's a 4-2 or bigger. Alright, I guess we hope to draw 3 lands in our first 4 draws. is not where you want the Lyras. You'd prefer them not be in your opener. You want to, like, draw them when you already have 5 lands in play, but I think this is definitely a keep on 6. Howdy, howdy, hostage. My attack's a little aggressive in the face to light up the stage, but they have so much removal in their deck. I think I want to just get my lick in for 2. It could also be that because they're a Chain Whirler deck, and I'm probably the control deck in the long term, I want to be defensive with the Skymarcher. Not only do I not really want to shock against my opponent, they have Lava Coil in exile now, so I'm attacking because they're likely Lava Coiling my Skymarcher just so they don't lose it. It's a use it or lose it type situation here for them. You're not wrong. We are doing a good job of drawing the lands that we talked about wanting to draw. An A+ job of that so far. We got, need to draw 2 lands in the next 2 draw steps. Perfect. Never didn't have them. Every spell they cast that points at other things is 1 less chance that they have to be able to kill my Lyras when they come up. That being said, we could just be dead here. They could have 2 3 damage spells and then we die. So they hit us for 4 and then they just go like 3/3. I think I'm supposed to cash this in as a gain 5. I mean, I think we're probably dead here. I guess I just play these and I attack with this and hope I don't die. I think that's the line. I think the play to win line is just attack here and pass. Just like hope there's 2 lines in a row. Or like not a Goblin Chain Whirler. Alright, sweet. We played our out and we hit it. We just don't win while that card sits on the table, so I think I just need to take the aggressive line there. I wonder if I want some of these Duresses on the draw more than Sega with the big old tip there. Whoop. Won a local undefeated event with 5 color wizards in Modern. Thought you would enjoy it. I sent the list to deck you to appreciate your input when all is said and done. Sub-only chat feels bad, man. Well, I mean, for like 1/20th of the price of that donation, you could participate in the sub-only chat, Sega. I appreciate the support. And yeah, that'll probably be up tomorrow then for Modern. Do I want Duress on the draw? Is Duress better than some of these Loxodons on the draw? Sphinx has been impressive in most of the decks I've tried him in, honestly. The blue-white control deck we're going to be playing later today is a Sphinx deck. What was their username? That was more game than Sega. Was the big tipper. Were Homerids really not errata to be crabs? Seems like a pun. This is the 5-color wizards list that that person just donated for. Digitech with the 11 months in a row. Thanks for the support. And Scissor, doling out a sub gifting to more than Sega. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, I think I just mortify this proactively. So that way it cuts them off of Wizard's Lightning being cheap. Land is not a terrible draw. I'm actually going to name Human with this one. Because if we draw Judy, I want to be able to cast her. Font of Agonies. I think Font of Agonies is just one of those cards that takes too much setup work to really be good. The amount of work you have to do for it to be good is not proportional to the payoff you ultimately end up getting from it. I think we're probably dead so here. Needed to hit that land for the old Lyra. It's a little bit rough. Let's play one more here. So this deck's actually very close to a deck list that did well at the last Mythic Championship. And it really just seems like it's probably worse than mono white aggro. I feel like this deck has a lot of the same problems that mono white aggro has, but also is adding the inconsistency to its mana for not a lot of power level upgrade. And again, the big question we talk about when you play decks like this, you want to ask yourself, like, are the changes I make giving me a payoff that's proportional to the risk they're adding to my deck? And this really feels like an example of the payoff not being worth the inconsistency that we've added. I mean, I don't know that Moment of Craving would have really fixed those games versus Red Brute Sea. Hopefully we draw a land next turn and get to play Judith, because then we have a 2/1 as a blocker for their Pteramander. We cast this, they play Dive Down. We basically die on the spot. Woof. Woof. Conclave's real expensive. It played Vicious Conquistadors. I don't know what that card does. Helps if I spell it right. Oh, so it's lower. It was lower to the ground. Interesting. That makes sense. That makes sense. Mortify is just kind of expensive. You'll notice when the way I sideboarded, I took my curve and I pulled my curve down overall. Because the way I lose this game, I think a lot of the time, is my opponent getting under me, basically. Back from vacation, I wanted to say thank you for archiving everything. Not only was I able to keep up with your stream while half a world away, but also kept me sane on the 14-hour flight home. Well, welcome back, McCullough. Glad you had a safe trip. I wonder if I'm supposed to shock to play around a Spell Pierce there. Alright, so they can Essence Capture this turn, but they can't Wizard's Retort me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take this away. And I'm going to play this out. Hey, what's going on, Mabel? Alright, they turned my Lord off. Which I guess means they're planning to attack with this next turn with Curious Edition on it, probably. So pretty happy to put another Flying Dork into play here. Oh, that's... We clicked too quickly, chat. We clicked too quickly. Yikes. Didn't matter. Got it. Excellent. Yo. Morning, Chalky. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome. Nice, Prince Day. Congrats. Oh, yay! We did it! We did it! I think I want to lead on Legion's Landing here. So that way I can start gaining some life back ASAP. Probably Dusk Legion Zealot on 2. Essence has been captured. I'm gonna lead on this because I'd prefer they counter this than counter my flyer. Life. Next turn I get to go landing into Loxodon, put a bunch of pit power and toughness into play. Nice, Sir Helios. Oh, you know what? If I had to sequence these in the other order... Whoa, what is in their hand? I am so confused. Are we just about to get, like, trickstered into double sleep or something? I'm like, what could they possibly have at the moment? I feel like we've gotten pretty incredibly fortunate this game. Could you imagine mono blue with Cryptic Command? They might just have huge tracts of land. You're not wrong. How about this one? Is this one good? Oh, you know what? I should have left this back because it can pump up other attacking vampires, which would have let them trade into Tempest Shin probably. I don't think it matters. I think they're pretty dead. They could just have a bunch of dive downs. That's true. They missed a land drop last turn, so that kind of implies that they're not holding islands, because the extra lands give their Tempest extra power, which is relevant. All right, so we're taking 14 here, and I gain 6. The old 20-point swing. I lose a thing, they lose a thing, go. Super D-duper dead on board. Play one more here. I feel like my conclusion is the same on this deck as every other Mardu aggro deck we've played, which is games like those where we get to actually play Magic and cast our spells. It feels very reasonable, but it just seems like we don't have good enough mana in this format to cast our spells consistently in these 3-color decks to have games like that enough of the time. Good morning, Forklift. So it's like if we can play all of our stuff is good and proactive and runs people down. But just like there's enough inconsistency from trying to play a 3-color aggro deck that we just don't get to play our stuff that often. We'll lead on the one that does more damage here. I don't know how we ever beat a Wild Growth Walker opener. Okie doke. McCullough, is there any plan to put the Teamer sideboard guide on the website? If so, put these notes towards your fix. If not, McCullough, if you poke into the subs Discord, it's posted in the article preview section there. I should probably make a note to tweet it out. I did not tweet it out. And there is it Phoenix in the queue. I'll get those added to it. K9 GM, thank you for the 3 months. Welcome back. I think I need to Conclave Tribunal one of these, right? And then I guess if I rip another Tribunal, I can deal with the other one. Or if you go to find the sideboard guide Discord, article previews. What kind? These days I'm a Twitch mathematician. I have a master's degree in mathematics from Illinois State University. I'm gonna cash this in to flip the land since I have another Legion's Landing to play out this turn. Hug the Quilfer, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Maybe these flying threats in conjunction with Judy are going to let us power through here, but they are going back to 20 next turn, which is a big deal. Although, if this Jade Light is only a 3-2 and we hit a removal spell for this, we can start attacking with everything next turn. Sans Judith, obviously. That's not the removal spell I wanted for Christmas. Okay, well, Vivian's dead. So she's probably going up digging for another Jade Light or a Hydroid Crisis to start blocking these, I'd imagine. Just found a land deal. Second Judy. Doesn't really accomplish anything here. It is. She is a 3-mana shock. Is it time for the final countdown? I'm not playing this deck against Sultai. These decks just never beat Sultai. Just ever. I'm off it. Yeah. I think my takeaway here is this feels like just worse than the other white aggro decks in the format. It's doing something that's like a little bit more interesting, but it's interesting comes at the sake of a lot of consistency, it feels like. So I think if you're interested in playing something like this, I would much rather just play the more traditional white aggro decks that are running around. Speaking of white aggro, I was playing off stream yesterday, trying to pad my rank up a little bit before the end of the month. And while playing Best of One, I played against 3 different MPL players, and they were all playing white aggro. So I bet we're going to see a lot of basic planes at the Invitational this weekend. I'm really interested to see what the metagame ends up looking like in terms of what people bring, because the current standard format's like really diverse. So it's going to be interesting to see if Duo Standard hurts the diversity that Best of 3 standard